Welcome to Conversations in the Closet with your host, motivational speaker, fitness expert, and fashion guru, Theresa Roemer.
Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am your host, Theresa Roemer, along with my infamous great co-host, Michael Pearce.
Howdy, y'all.
That's just going to be our trademark. Me going, Pearce, and you going, hi, y'all. I can't wait to take you to the rodeo.
Oh, my God. I'm so much fun at rodeo. Like, I love Armani, and I love Gucci. All of those. We can hit Cartier. I will go with you to Rodeo Drive anytime you like.
Oh, I'd love to see you ride bareback.
I haven't done that since, like, my wedding night. This is a family-only show. Family-only show.
So, you know, this is going to be an interesting topic today. Our little inner selves we have inside of us and how they talk to us.
Oh, God. Okay. This is a good topic, okay?
Yeah, but I mean, like, we all have a little inner self, you know, that either makes you do bad things or makes you think bad things, or, you know, sometimes it makes you do good things, I guess. But you know, like, I always, tell me if I'm wrong, but isn't it weird how sometimes you just don't think you're good enough for something, or you're pretty enough, or you're skinny enough, or, I mean, don't those weird thoughts come into your head periodically?
All the time. And I actually just polled a bunch of friends on social media to ask, and I was overwhelmed to see how it doesn't matter how rich you are, what race you are, how pretty you are. We all have that inner voice that attacks us. Mine is horrible. I mean, that's why I was bulimic and anorexic and hid in a closet. I have an inner voice that is even louder than me, and I'm pretty freaking loud. Yes, absolutely. Constantly like, you can't do that, you big fatty. Put that down. Like, put a salad in your pie hole. Like, all the time. All the time. I hate it.
So do you think that starts from when we're a small child, or where do you think it comes from?
I don't know. I don't think it comes from us as a child, because I look at my kids and I don't see them having that sort of inner voice of, no, I can't, no, I'm not good enough. And when I hear them like struggling with, I can't do these things, I immediately step in like, of course you can. I tell my kids every single day, I tell both of them, you are smart, you are kind, and you are full of love. And I push that home. But I think we get bombarded by messages from, you know, media and print. I think we have exes who tell us you're not good enough. I think we as adults grow up and beat each other up as a way to like make ourselves feel better. I think it's a creature of bad adult relationships.
Yeah, so I think it comes from society. And when I say society, that could be anything from a family member, a little kid, you know, kids up. I really do believe that we are all born very angel-like.
I did too. We are born with love in our heart. We are born
innocent.
Loving. Yes, we're loving, innocent creatures at birth, and then we go to hell.
So I think a lot of it starts when we start going to school. You know, whether it be kindergarten, first grade, second grade. You know, I mean, like, I can remember getting picked on because I had to start wearing glasses. You know, and so I think it starts once, maybe even preschool. I'm not sure if it goes that small or not, but I really do. I mean, like, and I have to I'll share a perfectly good story with you. Mm-hmm. I was my very first marriage. I was married at the age of 19, and unbeknownst to me, because the first time he hit me was actually on my wedding night.
Your wedding? Wait,
for a couple years.
He hit you on your wedding night?
Yeah. So literally, I'd been with. He'd never laid a hand on me, and on my wedding night, he hit me for the very first time because I wanted to have sex. I mean, like, who doesn't want to have sex on their wedding night, right? But
there's so much we got to talk about there. Hold on. And your wedding night, A, he didn't want to have sex, and B, he hit you. Like, had he done this before?
No, I told you. I mean, he had been with me for like 2 years, and he had never shown any. I mean, you know, when he would drink a little bit, he'd kind of get like, I wouldn't say he never hit me, but he would kind of get angry, like, sometimes, or
Yeah.
like jealous kind of, but literally the first night he ever hit me was driven storm for a couple hours. Everybody was tired, but I really wanted to have sex and he didn't want to have sex. And slapped me.
Red flag on the field, not wanting to have sex. Slapping me, you're off the field. I'm sorry. You're out of there. So what did you do? How did you handle that?
You're right. So I'm just saying, and unfortunately I stayed in that marriage and almost died because of the night he almost killed me in the closet. But I'll never forget when I left that marriage, he told me that I was not good enough to breathe the air that everyone else breathed. And after getting hit for 7 years, after almost getting killed, constantly being belittled, I left that marriage feeling like I wasn't even good enough to breathe the air that you breathe. I literally felt, he literally left me in the gutter, kind of thing. And I had to go through years and years of counseling, and I read self-help books, and I was bound and determined not to let him destroy me.
Now, you weren't a mom. You were not a mom at this point, right? You hadn't had Tiana or anything. Okay.
No. Never had children with this man. But I'm just saying, I think the smart person inside of me said, you are good enough. Don't let him do this to you, and after being tortured and played, the mind games that were played with me for 7 years, a lot of people might not have been strong enough to turn that around. They might have said, you're right, I am a nobody and I'm not good enough to breathe the same air. And they could have dwindled into, spiraled down into a deep, dark hole. But for some reason, and I don't know, it just must be how strong I am really on the inside. But I said to myself, I'll be darned if I'm going to let this man totally destroy me in my life, And so, like I said, I went through counseling. I did so many self-help books. Oh my gosh. I think I read every self-help book that was in the library, but I constantly hear saying, oh, I'm not good enough to get that job, or I'm not pretty enough to compete in a pageant. And it just, sometimes it really bothers me that we have those inner voices that tell us and belittle us.
Have you had a relationship since that relationship where someone else had tried to belittle you or try to tell you you're less than? Like, what, have you had one of those? And if so, how did you act differently the second time?
Well, I actually grew up in a family where we were somewhat belittled.
Same here.
Physically abused. So verbally abused. So, mine started as a child. And what was so strange was, I think when I first got hit in that first, because I had been hit as a kid, I think for a moment thought it was just normal. Like, why would I want to get out of this marriage? I was hit as a kid, so I'm going to get hit as a wife. It's just, I never for the longest time, I never felt like I should get out of that relationship. I don't know why.
I think that mentally, you said this before, the mental abuse oftentimes is much worse than the physical abuse, and it stays with you. And even the people who get out of the relationship and manage to survive, it takes such a toll on your self-esteem. I don't know if you really can completely recover. I know I'm seriously damaged from the crap hole people I've had in my life. And I walk around with this big ego thinking I'm amazing and fabulous, but I will walk by the mirror and be like, oh my God, look at you. Like you, and that those voices creep in, and I think they'll always creep in.
Yeah, I do too. But, like I said, I think I read every self-help book known to mankind. If there's a self-help book out there, I've read it, because I just truly believe that I'm worth, God put me on this earth for something, so I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes
what has helped you out of this? Because you've had a bunch of self-help. What out of those self-help books kind of helped you turn the corner? Was it God? Because I know you have a very close relationship with God. Is that what helped you? Or what was your savior out of that?
Just read. Have you ever read a self-help book, Michael?
I have, but the ones I would not be a good answer because the only I want was a Trump book. So I don't want to make this a political post. So I'm not a good question for me. I read the manual on Weight Watchers. Does that count? Like, no. Tell me about the self-help book because I don't know about them. Tell me about self-help books, Theresa, because I don't really know. Other than I've read your books, but that's not really self-help.
Scoring with Santa is not a self-help
book.
No,
they're getting naked in 30 days. That to me was like a self-help book because it was tips and it was inspirational. That's the closest I have to a self-help book was
right.
Naked in 30 days.
Well, have you ever heard someone else?
I'm sorry, you broke up. I lost you there. Did I ever heard who?
No, I said, have you ever heard the old saying of you have to love yourself first before you can love someone else?
Yes, but I also heard don't do that in public or you could get arrested.
Well, basically, thinking highly of yourself means you have to, it means you have to love yourself, and there's a lot of people out there that don't love themselves. They're constantly belittling themselves and thinking horrible thoughts about themselves. But I don't know. I just, there's so many self-help books out there and they touch on so many different points in your life. But, I've had so many people say to me, where do you get your confidence? You're so confident. Well, I would have to say that was probably from years of counseling and the self-help books, because they do help you love yourself. They do help you accept yourself and love yourself. And that's why I said I wake up every day and just try to be the best I can be, because, my mother, there's someone prettier. There's always going to be somebody smarter. There's always going to be somebody wealthier. There's always going to be somebody skinnier. There's always going to be somebody just better at something than you are. But that doesn't mean that you're not great. You are.
Do you get the flip side of that too? Because I found a lot of my friends who have a self-confidence about them. And I'm not saying this about you because I know you're not, but a lot of them will get attacked and they'll say things like, oh, she's a cocky bitch, or, she's so stuck up on herself. There's that. Do you get that backlash too from being confident?
Well, now, once again, there's a difference between having confidence and being cocky.
Oh, there's a huge difference. But the problem is usually women who are confident and successful and are doing well get attacked in a way that men don't. Like you... But they only get attacked by other women. Oh,
I have never had a man tell me that I'm too confident or that I'm being too cocky or anything. A woman, yes, a woman will try to knock me down and belittle me in a heartbeat. Oh, she's just a cocky bitch. Oh, she just thinks so highly of herself. Right, but I've never had a man tell me that.
That is interesting to me. I would have thought it'd be both. Wow.
No. So I think it's a jealousy thing from women. Because women can be very, women can be catty. Women, the sad thing is some women can talk to your face and act like they're your friend. And then the minute you walk out of the room, they're slicing you in half, So women can be vicious. That's probably why I've always had more men friends in my life than women friends.
Interesting. I've always had more female friends than male friends for the same reason. They're all intimidated by my natural beauty. So,
well, being that you're a gay,
it makes it easier. Yeah,
women friend.
It's true. It's true. I love being around beautiful people.
Yeah, but looking around is. You guys are just so I love being around all of my gay friends because they accept me. They'll tell me in a minute, like, shit, oh, you better go change that dress, Theresa. And I love that about them because, most gay people are very stylish, they've got such great taste. So yeah, I'd rather go hang out with all my gay friends than I would most women.
Well, we love you for that.
So you're saying you still have a lot of inner voices that control you on a daily basis then?
I do. Well, I mean, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I still battle with
Mhm.
anorexia and bulimia. You and I both know I'm borderline body dysmorphic with the plastic surgery. I'm basically every Lifetime television, TV, movie that Tori Spelling would have been cast in. I have all of those. But it's really apparent, and I'm more hyper aware of it being a parent because I don't want to pass them on to my kids. But yeah, I'll look in a mirror, and I was telling my husband the other day, I was like, I feel so freaking fat. I gained 3 pounds. And I'm like, I feel so fat. And he literally hit me. He's like, stop that word. You can't say that word. And it's because for so many years, I've had these things being pushed into me. My brothers and sisters said horrible things to me. I mean, I have no memory of my childhood from high school on. Like, so I have had lots of bad voices going on my entire life. You can't undo those things. And so I battle with it regularly. And I compensate the other way by trying to be funny or try to pretend that I'm much more secure than I am. But no, I am a therapist's dream. When I walked into my therapist last week, he's like, hot damn, my kids are going to Harvard and I got a vacation house. I may get a Ferrari off of this guy. Yes, I
Yeah, but don't you think therapy is a good thing?
Oh my God, it is. I've never gone to a therapist, and I felt bad when I sat down with this therapist. I went one other time in my life, and it was when I was like 19, and I went in to tell him I had an eating disorder. I was named in a paternity suit, and I thought I was an alcoholic. And it was one of the most, because I do things in big threes. But this therapist said, yeah, kid, I think you're an alcoholic. I'll see you next week. And I was so scared and so shaken. I left the office, freaked out. What am I going to do? I made a U-turn into oncoming traffic on the freeway and got T-boned and had to be medevaced out. And I was so traumatized about it, I never went back. This past week is the first time I've seen a therapist in a lot of years, but I think it's the best thing I think I've ever done. I scared the crap out of him because in the first 30 minutes, I was like, so let's talk about anorexia, bulimia, alcoholism, parents, and all that crap. But it's good because that's the first time somebody has said, you know what, that voice in your head that says you're not good enough, or that voice in the head is wrong. And to have a balance is really important.
Right. Totally. I mean, like, I swear to God, that's probably one of the only things that's ever helped me get through, whether it be traumatic childhood, living bejeebies out of me, or.
When did you first go to a therapist? Did you go to the therapist after the spousal abuse, after the loss of your son? Like, when did you first go?
The very first time I went to a therapist was from that first husband. Because like I said, I literally felt like I wasn't worthy to even sit here on this earth and breathe anymore, and I literally became almost addicted to going to that therapist because I felt so good being able to discuss not only what was happening to me from that marriage, but all the nutty stuff from my childhood, that I'd never told anybody about, and it was meant, like I said, mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, I mean, like, you name it. I mean, like, I went, and so therapy has been one of my saviors in life because to this day, I still periodically go to my son's death and go there with my daughter because my daughter sometimes still, just has a horrible time with her brother. Just like the other day, for those of you that keep up with me on social media, it was my son's birthday and he would have actually been 30 on Sunday. And, my daughter, it was a tough day for my daughter, and she's like, Mom, can we go back to the therapist pretty soon? And I'm like, yes, we can. So I encourage people to go to therapists. I strongly believe in them, and believe me, between my faith in God and therapy, I'm still sitting here.
How did you handle his birthday? Like, do you go to a gravesite to visit him? Or is it more of a, he's not there? Like, how did you handle his birthday this year? Because I know it's very hard.
Well, this year was totally different than other years because number one, it was Super Bowl Sunday. So, we were all.
Well, you were hosting a huge party. You hosted a huge party, so that's right. Yeah, you couldn't do.
Yeah. So, I dealt with his death or his birthday and death and everything kind of earlier in the day, because later in the day was the Super Bowl and everything. So, normally when it comes to his birthday, it's kind of a sad day, and Tashina and I just really like to hang out together and do stuff together and just be together as much as we can on that day to help each other. But like I said, this Sunday was totally different. I didn't even see my daughter. We were quite busy with the Super Bowl. So, but yes, but for some reason this year his birthday hit me really hard, and maybe it was because I finally was like, wow, 30. What would he have looked like at 30?
What is harder for you? Things like that, birthdays or the anniversary of his death?
Which one's harder?
Yeah. Is it harder to think about the birthday because that's the day that you'd celebrate their life and wondering what's going on, or the anniversary or the death?
That's really a tough question, because it's
two different times of pain.
That's a hard time to deal with, because now I don't even like the 4th of July, because everybody's celebrating the 4th of July and I don't want to celebrate, so every year that's just a hard time. His birthday, like I said, as the years have gone by, I haven't really kept up with how old he really would be.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was like, wow, this year he would have been 30. Oh my God, 30.
That's got to hit you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just really hit me. And yesterday was harder than a busy Sunday, that I didn't have time to think about it as much. And yesterday was when the waterworks came, and I talked about it and I just cried, and it was pretty tough. So, I think if we had to talk about a takeaway here on today's topic, it's go to therapy. Don't be embarrassed to go to therapy, because we all need therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone. If it's not a therapist, maybe it's your pastor or your preacher, or maybe it's a good friend. I don't care, but I think people should know that you should never be embarrassed to go to therapy. I think therapy is a wonderful thing. And if you're going to have these bad, like we all do, why not discuss it with a therapist, right?
Don't let it bottle up. You're right. You can't get better unless you work through it. And hiding the pain doesn't make it go away. Refusing to talk about it doesn't make it go away. You have to work through the pain to get healthier. I'm a firm believer of that, whether it's a pastor, a preacher, a friend, or call me, because I'll put it on Facebook, and I love that.
Yeah, just call Michael. He'll make you laugh so hard you won't, and then it'll be publicized on Facebook.
That's right.
So what a fabulous topic. We could actually probably sit here and talk about this topic for hours. It would be so therapeutic for all of us, but we're out of time. And I just want you to know that you can look us up on social media, and we'll even talk to you through social media about all your problems.
Amen. Tweet us, post us. We should actually we should do a live one with you where you're responding to all of your fans and answering some of the questions. That'd be fun.
I think that would be fun. So once again, make sure you get out there and look for us all over social media. We are everywhere, and check out that YouTube channel of mine. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and I'm actually so excited. I'm like, it's just growing. So with that said, we're going to have another amazing topic next week. So have a great rest of the week, people. And like I said, reach out to Michael Pearce.
You've been listening to Conversations in the Closet. We will return again same time next week. Brought to you by NI30D Athletics.